Woo! Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Well, we got a whole lot of luggage to unpack. And I'd like to get right into it because it's a whole lot to unpack, a whole lot of info. So let's unpack it.
1984, the world has taken an unrecognizable shape. All remnants of what used to be, now destroyed, as the 20th century took a horrendous turn. Orwell imagined a world where totalitarianism reigned. Individualism was dead, and reality and history was simply a matter of opinion. Of course, this never happened, as it was just fiction. But the novel 1984 has resurged in popular culture because many have made connections between this dark society and our own. Orwell never saw the rise of the internet or the policies of the 21st century, but his novel has been treated by some as almost a foreshadowing. Constant surveillance of every citizen by Nfac, constant surveillance by every government against its own citizens, those sort of connections. And this has only gotten more popular as more compared this dystopian society and our own. This video isn't meant to compare our society and Orwell's. This video is simply a summary of the politics, history, and world in the scenario Orwell crafted. Unsurprisingly, this is going to have some spoilers as this video fully fleshes out the world and society of 1984. Let's start off with some history. How does the world become this? In Orwell's novel, the 20th century is one long tragedy. The potential of humanity and this great path of civilization is entirely squandered in just a few decades. Since the novel was published in 1949, it's not surprising this is where the future begins to go downhill. It all started after World War II and the dawn of the Cold War. The precursor division of the world already has begun to be seen. For us, in the 21st century, we know how it ends. Soviet Union falls, nuclear war never happens, etc., etc. But in Orwell's timeline, there is no decades-long tension of the Cold War between America and Russia. Instead, sometime in the early 1950s, World War III breaks out. Nuclear bombs were used on major cities around the world, including Colchester, but not London. All we know is Britain was nuked multiple times. This was probably around 1954. During the bombings, the Soviet Union invaded all of mainland Europe as its army swept even into the Iberian Peninsula. The British Isles became the last bastion on the continent. In the aftermath of the war, the West unified as the United States and the British Commonwealth united into a single country. The United States, Canada, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and Britain formed to create Oceania. Oceania then went on to annex Latin America. After this, history gets a little bit fuzzy. What we do know is that because of the traumatic events of the war, unrest occurred in Oceania and the Soviet Union. Sometime after 1954, Oceania fell into civil war between capitalism and a new homegrown ideology. This war, by 1984, is referred to as the Revolution. This new ideology won, and under this victory formed itself into a single party, Nfac. We'll talk about this in a sec, but first, let's discuss the rest of the world. Sometime in the 1950s and 60s, simultaneous revolutions occurred in the USSR and China. Neo-Bolshevikism united Europe and Russia into Eurasia, while China, after fighting amongst itself for a decade, finally formed into East Asia under the nicely named ideology called obliteration of the self. This history that you just learned is something that no citizen in Oceania would know about, which is a good way to introduce you to this dystopian world. By 1984, the world is divided between these three nations: Oceania, Eurasia, and East Asia, all in a state of perpetual war over an area called the Equatorial Front. North Africa, through the Middle East, India, and Southeast Asia is constantly fought and interchanged between the three superpowers. We'll get back to that later. Even though the history of the early 20th century by 1984 would only be decades ago, they might as well have been thousands. The nations, history, people before Nfac are simply myths. And what exists is a society that is totalitarianism to its extreme. First, welcome to Britain. Except if you're a citizen, you've never known it as Britain. You know it as Airstrip 1. For many, Britain is a distant memory. The party's grip on the mind is so powerful, what once was an unquestionable fact, like a name, is similar to a faint dream. You question if it even happened, if it was ever real at all. Then you forget about it. This is the most prominent attribute of Oceania, the control of information to such an extent that facts are not reality, and reality can be changed simply on the whim of Big Brother and the party, Nfac. Nfac controls all. Nfac sees all. To say it changed society is an understatement. Nfac destroyed society and remade it into something where only it can thrive. Western civilization is basically dead. Now is only a civilization that exists purely for the party to rule without question. How exactly it did this, we don't know. Now, when I say party, Nfac isn't a party like the Democrats, Republicans, or even Nazis. It's more like a society within a society. It has its own separate culture and rules from the majority of the population. Oceania is split between three main classes. The inner party, basically the secretive heads of the state, is only 2% of the population, followed by the outer party, the bureaucratic but still devoted educated people, which is 13%. And then everyone else, the proles, the uneducated, easy to manipulate simpletons who live in poverty, never knowing any better. Think of it like the ruling classes of Westeros. They have their own issues and culture, while the masses are simply the mundane peasants nobody really cares about. The inner and outer party is divided between four main sections. The Ministry of Peace, who wages war against Eurasia or East Asia, depending on who it is at the time. The Ministry of Love, which shuts down opposition and quells dissent. The Ministry of Truth, the propaganda arm of the party. Propaganda is to put it lightly. This purpose of the party is to rewrite, invent.
Hold on.
Or destroy any conflicting bit of news and history that goes against the party. News stories tell of war heroes who in actuality don't exist, that sort of thing. The Ministry of Plenty deals with economics and rations. It decides who gets what and what resources must be cut back. Every ministry is housed in pyramids that tower over the London skyline, 300 meters in the air, or roughly 1,000 feet tall. In Oceania, the only one thing that matters is Nfac. Since the proles are too uneducated to matter and are easy to manipulate by either nationalistic pandering or to create a fake crisis, the party only really has to worry about its own stability to survive. So it doesn't really monitor or care about the majority of the population. The party only has to worry about its own stability to survive. Like a human body, it remains healthy by purging out the harmful educated elements and those not entirely loyal to the ideology. Decades ago, there were mass purges in the 50s and 60s inside the party. Nfac removed every threat of the old world to solidify itself among fanatic new supporters. By cutting off the population of both the party and masses from history, Nfac is able to have a monopoly on facts. For example, the party says it invented the airplane. This is simply fact now, and everyone believes it. The Ministry of Truth rewrites or destroys any evidence of this not being the case. Those in the party who openly question this simply disappear or are sent to the Ministry of Love for re-education. Continue en masse until, for the most part, it's a fact amongst the population that the party did invent the airplane. This is a process. How Orwell describes this is that simply through the progression of decades, Nfac was able to normalize attributes that haven't existed in the West for centuries. Class divide, uneducation, mass atrocities, censorship. These are allowed to be commonplace because anyone who didn't agree with it is either too unimportant or dead to care. Then solidify this base with youthful and nationalistic young adults, and you've got a healthy future for your ideology. Nfac's ideology runs so deep, children are more likely to openly report their own parents for thought crimes. Nfac recreated culture, crafted new terms to allow only it to exist. A thought crime is anything that goes against the policy of the party. If you commit a thought crime, you can be vaporized by the thought police. simply disappear. And when I mean disappear, I mean it is now a fact that you are never a person, an unperson. This isn't like kids giving Jimmy the silent treatment. This is everyone simply forgetting there ever was a Jimmy, and forgetting that they forgot. The mention of your existence somehow by your family, coworkers, is now a thought crime in itself. Documents are changed or destroyed so that there is no evidence you ever did exist. Not that you did, Jimmy. This is how Nfac is able to quell dissent. This term comes from the official language of the party, Newspeak. It's technically just short in English, but it's entirely designed to control the use of words that may be threatening to the party. Simplistic terms like duckspeak, crimethink, black-white. By limiting language to small bits, it makes debate controllable or refutable. Nfac simply has a monopoly on political discourse because it made the words up. In 1984, this goes deeper than a weird language. Brainwashing is a cultural manifestation that goes down to the personal level. Reality and history itself can be changed with the bureaucratic stroke of a pen, and nobody thinks that that stroke ever happened. This is doublethink, a newspeak term to hold two conflicting beliefs and hold both as equal. Neither are canceled out, both are believed. This is best emulated by the ongoing.
Now, let me stop it right there. Whew, when I tell you, just my preparation, what it do naturally me, simultaneously watching 100 YouTube channels at the same time, triple thinking, quadruple thinking. Ain't no thing. Welcome to the show. Now, to really give you my breakdown on this show, I had to go watch through tons and tons of Nfac videos. You don't know what Nfac is? That's the Not Fucking Around crew. The Not Fucking Around Coalition. Nfac. This is what they call themselves. And boy, what a head spin. What a head spin that it took me to walk this down. Now, it was so much to choose from. I was taking notes. Slowly breaking down the psyop in the Grandmaster J's design. Grandmaster J, he has some very conscious community qualities. He's a combination of a nature boy with a gun, mixed with a sonetta with a video camera. Then he has some Khalid Muhammad, militant personality. And most dangerous of all, he got some Jim Jones ideology. How many of you remember Jim Jones? Let me see if I can find this some Jim Jones. Some Jim Jones ideology. Jim Jones was a man in the 70s who convinced himself that he needed to create a new society for the people. He took it upon himself that he would present himself as a preacher, seeking pupils and disciples through the word of God. But he certainly was not a preacher. He was certainly not a believer in the Bible. But the Bible is a great way and a great tool for the deceivers to use because the students have already heard of it. And for some reason, Black folks here in America desire some sort of leadership to follow. This brother was trained in hip hop, how to move the crowd on the 12 inches. He was the DJ. He knows techniques to move the crowd. He used a narcissistic personality. And I might say, to an untrained mind, he is quite convincing. He's quite convincing. He has used the synergy of information, mainly Bible, along with the comedic information. He merged them. Along with his military training, he merged it. He's not quite a Dr. York. He's not like a Farrakhan. But he surely isn't anything different. He surely isn't new. Let me find my Jim Jones. Now I'm about to rip from some other show I was going to do about Jim Jones and the conscious community. But I need that information right now because this all lines up for me. Very easy for me to pull all this together. Hope you're sitting there wondering, how in the hell did Pit Boss connect Grandmaster Jay to Jim Jones? What do they got in common? Oh, everything. Everything. Let me see if I can find. See if I can find a clip. Maybe this one. Let me see. Let's listen to a little Jim Jones audio. I'm going to pull it out for you. I'm going to show you the comparative analysis between the Nfac.
I wouldn't bullshit you. I've never bullshitted you in my life.
And Jim Jones. Hold on, let me gotta get past all the music. There you go.
I decided, how can I demonstrate my Marxism? The thought was, infiltrate the church.
Hold on. I gotta unpack already. So as we break down this psyop, Jim Jones comes in. I decided, how can I demonstrate, give you a demonstration of my Marxism? The thought was, infiltrate the church with Marxism, an ideology that is anti-God. But in the beginning, you couldn't tell the People's Church that he was anti-God. Impossible. I like the way they kind of did this video with that spooky music, and the laugh that they're using is a laugh he uttered late in the game. This is when his Satanism came full surface, and his diabolical laugh kicked in. I don't know how well this audio sounds for you, but I need you to try to tune in to the words, because he's about to explain, he's about to demonstrate how he used Marxism to infiltrate the church. I am doing an overlay of the mind of Jim Jones on the top of the mind of Grandmaster Jim to demonstrate Marxism infiltrating the church through, Nfac, Jam Master Jim. Since we already know the conclusion of Jim Jones.
You modify crazy nigger tactics, you're liable to lose the revolution.
I will take my communist ideology into the streets with violent activity.
Revolution comes out of the valley. Get some guns, get some bombs. We can get this place blown up. Some of these corporation heads, boards of directors.
We could actually shake this whole country for socialism. We could shake it for revolution. So by God, they wouldn't know what to do with it. We can do it. Don't let a foreign image stand in our way, our American.
Now, I want you to know that Jim Jones used the FOI as his security. Boy, this is the Nfac Kool-Aid. I got a previous video entitled the Comedic Kool-Aid, which already was the cyanide poisoning to the Comedic community. Now we have another layer of cyanide. Nfac Kool-Aid. I hope that a couple of the members find my channel. It's important that you understand the ideology of your group and make sure that you 100% agree with the ideology. Most Black people could not give you a 5-minute spiel on what socialism, Marxism is. And if you don't know what socialism and Marxism is, before you make a full commitment to be down with the get down, you might first want to know what the get down is.
Image stand in our way. When folk get to eat, they don't give a shit who's eating. That we are niggers in this country unless we unite under equal sharing and some form of democratic socialism.
For many years, we have let our sympathies be quite publicly known that the United States government was not our mother, but that the Soviet Union was our spiritual motherland. We were not mistaken in aligning our purposes, our destiny with the destiny of the Soviet Union.
Hold on. There's a whole lot of screaming going on in this video. So he said that the Soviet Union was his motherland. In that very clip, we got lines of white folks holding up the black fist, the white fist, the red fist, the Soviet fist. Oh yeah. That black fist is always present when you hear the word Black Power. Black Power is the verbal symbol of the physical symbol of the fist, the four fingers and the clenched thumb. Always going to be in line, always going to be in line with socialism and Marxism. Now, let's get over here to our brother, Grandmaster Jay, so that he could teach us facts over our feelings. Hold on, be strong. Let me start this back a little bit.
Of enslavement as being ancillary to American history. It makes it the foundation of American history. Okay? Y'all got to understand those numbers are simply mind-bending. How many of y'all know, all my folks from South Click, South Carolina, almost 60% of all the blacks in South Carolina are slaves? And beyond those numbers, you have to understand that you have to forget that humans, not abstract figures, were being enslaved. These ain't just numbers. Each one of these is a person that was enslaved. Y'all have to understand that. I mean, sometimes it just blows my mind. I used to, sometimes, I'm a black person, in case y'all haven't noticed. And one day I sat down and I looked at another black person. And I said to myself, I wonder what it would feel like to own another black person. Own them. Own whether they lived or died. Own whether they ate or starved. Own whether they had sex or not. Own whether they could marry or own them. Literally own them like I own my dog. Own them. I tried to picture that feeling. I'm not built like that. And I just was like, that's sick. It's very sick. Slavery was not about some sanitized form of forced labor, but first and foremost, it was a system of violence and assault on black bodies, on black families, black institutions. That all gets lost in this talk about economics and robbing people of their work. That robbery was accomplished by the destruction of a people. If you want to pick up a book that captures that, pick up a copy of The Bowl of Glimpses Out of the House of Bondage and read it. Glimpse is specifically interested in, he wrote the book about the violence that allegedly mild slave mistresses visited upon their slaves, white women. But focusing on what people think of us in the mildest form of slavery reveals that slavery, listen to what I'm about to say here, enslavement is not violent sometimes, but itself is a form of violence. You stop to think about that.
Now hold on, let me stop and think about something. Now, do you guys remember just a week or two ago, I did a show about Kobe Bryant. We were dealing with Kobe Bryant and his cage muse, if you may remember the cage muse. And in the cage muse, Kobe Bryant taught us that we could bring out our inner demon, our dark energy. And I happened to notice that Grandmaster Jay was wearing a shirt with his inner demon, or his dark energy, or his ferocious spirit. And he happened to choose the tiger. Not just any tiger, but a tiger striking. Whenever a tiger's mouth is open that wide, he's either yawning or striking. And in this video, Grandmaster Jay is striking. Apparently, his videos are connected to his Instagram. And so he has this masterful way of speaking to his group. It was difficult for me to sit back with all that I know, all of the socialist, Marxist, dialectic materialism, 1984, the conscious community, the comedic community, Alice Bailey, Bolshevism. I can go on and on about the subjects I've covered on my show in detail. And that's just me going off the fly for you guys. But when I'm doing my own understanding, I'm in these books for hours, days, weeks. I got people I study with. We throw the information back for months on end as we dissect it to its component. Just the other day, I was dissecting the word Negro and nigger, taking from one of the speakers. We started with necromancy. This is in the Latin. And we followed the Latin back to the Greek. We had necromancy, led back to Latin, niger, and it went on and on and on. And then we followed Negro through the black lineage, going all the way back to Josephus and through the Niger River that had no similation to Niger coming from the Latin. I did this simply because of a comment I left about our brother Larry Gators and his breakdown of the word Negro. He wanted us to throw away our history to believe that the word Negro came to us through the Latin. They didn't. There's too much historical research on the topic that is outside of the Latin thinking, speaking on the subject, all the way back to Scipio Africanus. I ran it all the way back and separated it. But nonetheless, this is what's happening here. Now, this particular video I'm playing, right? Let me take him off screen. I just wanted y'all to see that he was creating his news cage, and he chose the tiger. Now, I didn't do this, but it'd be amazing for me to just Google the meaning of the tiger spirit. Y'all want to go that far? I bet you would find something interesting. But anyway, though, this particular video was posted on June 20th. This is prior to his July 4th demonstration. But he made a mistake. He made a mistake on July 4th with his demonstration. For every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. And so what I noticed is once he came with the demonstration, white folks decided they got a demonstration too. And so, let me pull up my demonstration here. Let me get over here to my demonstration. All right, let me go back here. I'm sorry I ain't got all this queued up for y'all, but I swear I don't be wanting to put too much time into this YouTube for the free. But I do like to talk about this information. I might just save a life. You never know. It's probably some of that body in that group who really just wanted to join for some arms training. And I admit, I watched one of his arm training videos. He wasn't the best I've ever seen, but he, if you just want to train with a black guy, I mean, he was available, but not the best I've ever seen. Not through the video he showed me. But let's go back and let's find the recent video. The recent video is troublesome. It's troublesome because he's going to force himself into the Jim Jones ideology. He's going to force himself to have to face SWAT team. And they pull up on niggas with rifles all the time. You know, they blew one dude up in Texas with a robot and a bomb. They just rolled that robot right on over there and blew that shit up right, and we didn't even find a piece of this dude. They not tripping on what kind of weapons you got. That's what they do. When they get the call, they know it's weapons involved, most likely rifles. So, you know, we usually say in the hood, don't write a check that your ass can't cash. Don't write a check that your ass can't cash. You are not saving, this for Brother Jack, you are not saving black people with a socialist, Marxist ideology. It won't happen. But you will radicalize black people and get some weak nigga to think that he ready for the big time and march on out to his destruction and sip from the Nfac Kool-Aid. And that's what they do. I keeps it one bizzle on this missile. So I'm going to go back to the previous video in a moment, but I want y'all to understand this video came out July 7th, and it's a part 2 video. And it's a lot more disturbing than it was just a week ago.
Them to do the things they do and for us to sit back and just be witnesses. But when we do it, oh, it's a federal crime. You must do something. It's their way of saying, nigga, how dare you? That's what they're saying. And the real scary part about it is they don't seem to understand. You keep poking the bear. Eventually the bear will attack you. And now the bear is in the position to attack you, they're scared. And I know they're scared. So, you know, as I would say to Governor Abbott and all the others who can buy into that bullshit if you want to, I had no time threatened any of you motherfuckers. I told you I'm going to defend my people. You threatened us. Let's not forget how this whole thing got started. You threatened all of us. You said you were going to shoot black people on the 4th of July. You didn't give a specific location. You said all black people. You even had police running around talking about, I can't wait to start killing black folks. So don't play victim to the circumstances you created. We are going to defend ourselves. And I'll say it publicly here. Arresting me or doing anything to me would unleash the war that you don't want. So go ahead and go ahead and roll up in your whiteness and come after me and watch all my brothers and sisters show you that we are not just walking around on parade. This ain't niggas on parade. And you let them white boys pump you up to do something stupid when we didn't break any laws. None whatsoever. If you're going to have the Constitution, either the Constitution going to be for everybody or the Constitution ain't going to be for nobody. And a land without a Constitution is a land at war. Y'all keep letting these white boys, these little scared white boys pump you up because black folks exercise their constitutional rights. And you white folks out there, you better talk to your people. You better talk to them. We're not like they were in the 60s. Now, I'm coming here in facts over film, let you know right off the bat. We're not playing that shit at all. It's a chess game. You make that move, we already got a few other moves in place. And if you think it's crazy now, 2020 should have taught you anything. That this year is unpredictable and nobody knows what's coming around the corner. It's unfolding by the day. It's unfolding by the minute. So play that 1966 shit with us if you want to. You started this. We just stepped up to say, you're going to threaten us? It's only intelligent for us to prepare to defend ourselves. Now, y'all going to find out that the world y'all live in is not what you seen. You see, we have friends and then we have enemies. I give praise to the Most High because we have friends and we have enemies. You know, if you go to any of the older books, matter of fact, I think if I go to the book of precepts, again, morals and precepts, somewhere around chapter 18, it talks about friends and enemies. This is before any of you all existed. It is before this civilization. They already talked about who our friends are and who are enemies. And it says, and I quote, if you remember, it says, the only real enemy any man has is the man he does not understand. And the only man to really fear is the one who is afraid. So you shouldn't be afraid of me because I'm not afraid. You may not understand me, and that's probably what scares you. You can never be me, so that terrifies you. And you could never beat me. So I will say this publicly. You're not putting me in a cage. Period. And I mean that.
Now, this is what Jim Jones felt. See, Jim Jones had rifles, AKs, handguns. He also learned how to get adequate funding. Bought him some land in Guyana. Tried to make his way to Russia so he can be around the motherland of socialism and Marxism and revolution. And according to Grandmaster Jay, they're fighting a revolution. But he ain't trying to buy no land. He want a handout. He wants some reparations. He want the white man to give him Texas. Well, I can guarantee you that them Cowboys ain't giving up nothing. I can guarantee you that the Republican state of Texas ain't giving up nothing. And I can tell you they got guns. Lots of them. If any state in America got guns, Texas got guns. I know your folks from Texas, according to you. But you let the video camera play you out of pocket. Once you went live 365 in Stone Mountain, Georgia, with 100 Rat-a-tat Army crew, the Rat-a-tat Army, that was soft. I mean, it wasn't a demonstration. It wasn't. It was a march with guns. And that's not what you said you was coming to do. So you respond to a veiled threat. You said you're going to kill black people. Who said it? A YouTube post? Somebody on Facebook in a comment section? Did it come on CNN? Did it come on MSNBC? Was it rhetoric out the Democrat Party to frighten the shit out of Negroes to go vote for Biden? Who said it? Donald Trump said it? You went there looking for the Ku Klux Klan. I assumed you thought they was going to be huddled up on the 4th, celebrating Independence Day with sheets on their head. And you was just going to stumble up on them and surprise them. We here, nigga. That ain't how it went. All you ran into was the park police. And they escorted you around the park, gave you a tour. But you're playing with George Soros. See, what you need to do is contact George Soros. Tell him you down with Black Lives Matter, defunding the police and instituting the black police. The 1984 psyop of totalitarianism. This is where you're headed. You're going to find yourself by yourself at 6 a.m, police at my door. Fresh Adidas sweep across the bathroom floor. Trying to get to that rifle. Because you hear them bam, bam, bamming at that back door. They get paid to watch you 24/7. 24/7. Paid. Cash money. When they come, they've already been watching for weeks. They don't just come, oh, some black dude with some guns, go get him. They don't move like that. First, they hit the alert button. Hey, we got this crazy dude again talk about socialism, Marxism, and, he's revolutionary, a black activist. Oh, yeah? They put a nerd on you, sitting in a room with computers, tapping into every camera in the country everywhere you go. He don't even got to leave the office. He just tap into the social network of the world. Then they chime in on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on all your shit. And you think that every member in your party, the loyal ones that been there from the beginning, can't be infiltrated? Easily infiltrated. These days, snitching is culture. 6ix9ine snitching. T.I., 1-800-CALL-TIP line snitching. Snoop Dogg snitching. All these niggas are snitching. Israel Doctrine snitching. These niggas will snitch. I had Sonetta to go snitch on me with the white man over me posting a video. Snitching is culture. And these niggas will sell you out just to get their traffic tickets cleared. Get their license back. Nigga will snitch on you. You want your license back? Yeah. Where that nigga at? He around the corner. It's nothing. You don't have a real plan. You have a egotistic maniac ideology in your brain that was pre-programmed to you from Karl Marx 100 years ago. You talk about a black socialist, Marxist, atheist, W.E.B. Du Bois, leaving America at 93 years old to move to socialist, communist Ghana and die among his Marxist homies. And you think that was some deep history you was giving out. But you forgot to mention that W.E.B. Du Bois and James Wormley worked to undermine the Christian, real black nationalist Marcus Garvey, who never promoted taking up arms for some military fight. Never promoted that. Only the socialist, Marxist, radical revolutionaries promote that bullshit until it's time to pay that debt. And I believe you when you say, you're not locking me in a cage. You can't lock someone who in a cage who already put themselves in a cage. You are in a Marxist cage right now. You are in a socialist cage right now. Thinking that you about to succeed in getting reparations, the state of Texas, or the ability to march out of here with all the other degenerates who didn't understand what the fuck they was getting themselves into. We've seen it. This is an old movie. This is a rerun. This is the Black Panthers without patches. That's it. Ain't nothing different about your ideology. Y'all all believe revolution, socialism, Marxism, communism, anti-capitalism, anti-do for self. You want reparation. You don't want to do for yourself. You're not about to mention the real African-American paradigm going down here. We built Black Wall Street without a group like you. We built the one in North Carolina and in Tulsa without a group like you. We built the Tuskegee normal institution without a group like you. It's a shame to watch y'all develop this maniac concept. You want some attention? Go to Sonetta. He loves shit like this. He can't wait to get the interview and sit there on the edge of the street. Yeah, brother, see, that's what I'm talking about. Brothers with guns. Yeah, we need guns. We need black people with guns with the right fucking view. You need to be Christian, conservative, do for self, and the gun. Pro-constitution, pro-nationalist, black nationalist in all of America. Not radical, not socialist, not Marxist, not Bernie Sanders, not Joe Biden, not Nancy Pelosi, not George Soros, not Margaret Sanger, not no goddamn W.E.B. Du Bois. You got the game fucked up. And that's keeping it 100. That's just keeping it all the motherfucking way real with you and every member of your motherfucking crew. Don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Don't know a goddamn thing about your own ideology. I've listened. I ain't even done. I'm going to keep swarming through your shit. I'm not interested in getting on your group, trying to come in and infiltrate. I don't give a fuck about none of that. What would impress me is if your comprehension level could absorb the understanding of do for your motherfucking self. Simple and motherfucking plain. Protect your motherfucking right to liberty, life, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what the fuck you do with that gun. Protect that. You don't start coming with that Black Panthers radical revolutionary speech because it sounds good. You're going to end up Jim Jones around this motherfucker. You're going to either take your life or lose your shit on some Waco type shit. Motherfuckers will hit your shit with a tank with nitro in that motherfucker and set this bitch on fire. See if you run out the back door. And blast you coming out. Like, you fucking went the wrong motherfucker. You just really creating a psyop for yourself. All because you've been trained by a Marxist, whether deliberately or unknowingly. One of the two happened to you. You either deliberately sat your ass in some Marxist training classes and learned to become a revolutionary Marxist, or you unwittingly believed all these fake conscious ass niggas out here pushing that shit in the form of African spirituality. I done ripped niggas' heads off on this motherfucker for 5 years straight. I'm still aiming at the same target. Socialist, Marxist, communists claiming to be black nationalists, faking their motherfucking funk consistently. Y'all all have the same language. You change your uniforms, you change your symbols, you even change your name, but y'all ain't never change your game. Ever. One of y'all biggest meetings, gatherings, was the Niagara movement, which changed the socialist Marxist Niagara movement, which changed into the NAACP socialist Marxist atheist movement that came up out of the United States Socialist Party, Communist Party, which had an offshoot of the Blood Brotherhood, who became, they were kind of like socialists undercover, or a socialist public, black nationalists undercover, double thinking, double consciousness, double speak. I'm taking notes listening to your shit, writing down all your double speak. I hope you're aware of double speak. If not, William Lutz, double speak. Get you a dictionary and learn what the fuck you're talking about so that you can interpret what the fuck you got to say to yourself. Because I don't think you really know what you're talking about. This is why I played the 1984 movie clip breakdown at the beginning of the video if you chimed in late, so that you can understand that George Orwell's wrote this psyop in 1949. They made it into a movie by the 60s, replayed it in the 80s, and now here you are, live and in living color, pushing that same shit. Oceana. So what happens? Let's say you're successful and you can get to Ghana. What shall you get when you get there? You will get to Ghana, find out that you have repatriated and lost your American status in the world. Turned in your American passport for a Ghanaian passport. And with that, they gave you a piece of land out in the wilderness where they don't even want to fuck with that area. And there, you perfected your socialist, Marxist, revolutionary rhetoric. Now you're up under a socialist, Marxist democracy in Ghana, where they welcome you with open arms to your socialism and Marxism. There, you will perfect it and gather it until it becomes totalitarianism. And all that Bible talk gonna fly out the window as you perfect your oligarch system until your own members realize they've been hoodwinked. They have drunken the Nfac Kool-Aid, and they don't want to be here no more. And that's when the Jim Jones gang turns in. You can't just let people go, because they're going to go back and talk about the horror stories. And as you see members leaving your organization, blowing the whistle on what the fuck really going on in the inside, your psyop falls apart. And you become destroyed, super destroyed, for a lack of misunderstanding. I mean, for an abundance of misunderstanding. My bad. What's up, Courtney Black? What you agree with? In particular, all of it? Oh, this is what I do. This is what I do. It don't matter how many people watch it. This is what I do. Been doing. Long before Donald Trump popped them in the head with it. Long before Candace Owens. The brother said he hate Candace Owens. Most black people tell me, I hate Donald Trump. Be like, why you hate him? He ain't fucking racist. Who told you that? MSNBC. Yeah, I heard him say it. It's a psyop. It's a gameplay. See, in the movie 1984, they showed you the structure of what their version of the revolutionary was called, Nfac, where 2% were the inner party. Those was the rich and abundant. And then they had the outer party, a group that they allowed to be educated to protect them from the masses. And then you just had the masses who was like irrelevant people. They're just irrelevant. And in the movie, they made their own words up. And they started limiting speech in order to dumb you down. And here you go, pushing George Soros' defund the police project. That shit came out of nowhere from Black Lives Matter. You ain't got no videos a year ago talking about defund the police. I know you don't. Because that's a George Soros invention. Spitting out the mouths of his pawns, Antifa and Black Lives Matter, to which he was a part. And you might have a defund the police concept during your Black Lives Matter days. And see, you shook that because you couldn't be a grandmaster over there. You couldn't be the founder. And you have a narcissistic personality. You need to be at the top of the pyramid. You need to be Nfac. And you couldn't be that over there. It was for a person of your caliber, your narcissistic ideologies and beliefs about yourself. You call the people that listen to your advice your followers. And you ain't talking about Instagram followers. You talking about niggas with black mask on marching through the Stone Mountain. These are your children. You're their God. Because in Marxism and socialism, there is no God but yourself. Your self-gods. Oh, man. Oh, man, you got a couple Nfac Kool-Aid thick over there with the cyanide. But these white folks is clever. And I promise you, these are not, well, you're going to find a mixture here. Because one, the only thing that will oppose you with any veracity is conservatism. And anybody saying that you're dangerous, it ain't because they're a liberal or a conservative. Why they saying that you're dangerous? They're saying you're dangerous because you're acting out your ideology and your fanciful Wakanda ideas into real life. You're walking up on random white folks begging for reparations. A random ass white folk who any nigga where I'm from would have been knew that anybody sitting in Stone Mountain on the 4th of July in a brand new rental by himself with glasses on is the feds. It would just be that easy. This motherfucker the feds. He ain't got no kids with him. He ain't got no picnic basket. What the fuck is he up here doing? It's the middle of the day. The fireworks ain't cracking off yet. What the fuck is going on? And nigga ain't even gonna walk over there and talk to him. Just gonna look at him. Look at this. You got the police following us, y'all. And you just identified. They go to feds. Let's get the shining for the feds. I'm gonna be blinging with I'm gonna have my jewelry on when the feds watching. You know what I mean? But I listened to a video on Cynetic Channel, a rapper named Iron Sheik. Donald Trump is waking you niggas up slowly, drip by fucking drip. You niggas is so sleep. It's hard motherfucking work. I couldn't wake you. I didn't have a microphone big enough, but Trump did. And Iron Sheik has come to the realization, even though he is one of those conscious community comedic type, that Donald Trump shook him. And he realizes that he ain't hurting us. But he also realized that the Democrats is fucking crazy. They want to do all kind of shit. They want to get rid of ICE. Now they want to get rid of the police. Now they want to kill all the black babies and the white babies and any other babies you can get your hands on. And they want to promote sex trafficking. Knock that fucking wall down so we can get this sex trafficking back cracking. Pizzagate. They got all kinds of shit they into. They got all kinds of money involved in their world globalism. The globalist. And Iron Sheik could realize that Trump is fighting some shit. Sarnetta even was like, yeah, I think we should vote for Trump because we can see where he's coming from. He's transparent with his thoughts. But Joe Biden, he one of them sneaky type. Yeah, Joe Biden is a socialist Marxist like Grandmaster Jay is a socialist Marxist. There's no difference. They got a different agenda momentarily. But Grandmaster Jay, if you really want to get some help, you should be 991ing George Soros. George Soros is currently funding the prosecutor who wants to prosecute the white lady who put black paint in the streets over the Black Lives Matter sign. They want to prosecute her. It's graffiti all over the goddamn place. Nobody getting prosecuted for that. The streets is public streets. The lady decided she tired of this big yellow Black Lives Matter symbol on the ground. It's Satanism. She wants to drown it out. And we find out that the prosecutor received $50,000 from George Soros for his campaign. So now he has to pay his debt back and prosecute the lady. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work because the QAnons are watching. It's crazy to watch white folks do they shit. Excuse me. Sorry about that. The QAnons are watching. We call these people the silent majority. They are much bigger, much stronger, and much wiser. And therefore, they don't even have to speak. They don't need to create a Jam Master Jay to come out here and push capitalism and conservatism. They don't have to do it. They're part of the meek. They have the power to crush you, yet they sit silently and let you act the motherfucking fool and do nothing. They know that you're weak. It's no need to crush you. You will crush yourself under your own weight. Just imagine you lay down on the ground and the weight of your body crush you. Isn't that sad? Wouldn't that just be horrible? But if you want some backup, your socialist Margaret Sanger, Alice Bailey, Aleister Crowley plan in blackface all over again, you better go hit the owners of the Black Lives Matter and say, can I get George Soros' beeper number? Did this motherfucker ever call back? And he might fund your revolutionary. Because you surely didn't mention him. You surely wasn't mad at him. You ain't mentioned him at all. Got his whole paradigm in your brain. And all you told me about was Candace Owens and Donald Trump is who you don't like. What the fuck are you lined up with CNN for? How did you and CNN become strange bedfellows? How did that happen? I thought you was a revolutionary. CNN ain't no revolutionaries. They ain't black power. How in the fuck is y'all lined up? Y'all assimilating. You the black Antifa, the black Ku Klux Klan, aren't you? That's what they posting about you. The silent majority is putting memes out. That Nfac is the black Ku Klux Klan. You got the exact same belief. They are neo-nationalist. You are neo-socialist. Same shit. Same shit. They have the white fist and white power. You got the black fist and black power. Their fist represents socialism, Marxism, communism. Your fist represents socialism, Marxism, communism. Donald Trump don't fuck with that. That's why you don't like her. Candace Owens ain't fucking with that. That's why you don't like her. She's poison to your shit. You will not be successful in today's America. Today's America is controlled by the conservatives. It's nothing the liberals can do. Nothing but cry, weep, and yell black power, white power, revolution, all that shit done for. It ain't your moment. You should wait. You should have waited for Pelosi to become the president. Then push that line. You should have did it when Barack Obama was there. You should have pushed that line. You would have had some backup. You ain't got no backup. And I'm trying to tell you, at 6 in the morning, it's going to be police at your door. Them double AKs better get ready to spray. They prepared to die. You prepared to die. The difference is what you're dying for. What you dying for? Because you mad? That's what you dying for. I'm mad. Fuck the white man. Is that what you done for? Because you could have got involved in gang banging. This nigga told me, look, I don't know where the fuck you grew up, but I grew up in California, Los Angeles, gang bang capital. Nigga, ain't no way today, yesterday, or in the future will gang bangers ever be the police of black people. Ever. Never, ever, never, ever. Ever, never, 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 ever, never, ever, never, never, never. Them niggas is not built to guard their own motherfucking selves. Never. You living in a psyop. A super psyop. And you about to feel the heat. And you ain't gonna be able to get out of it because you're not grounded. You fell for the okie doke. Marxism. You fell for that. I don't know how you got there. I don't know if you intentionally got trained for this shit or you was just subversion got you. But either way, you are there. I guarantee that. You were there. You are now about to witness the strength of real knowledge. Not street knowledge. Real knowledge. They're not just going to gang bang on you. They're going to get you on the law. And then you have to obey the law. And they coming to arrest you to bring you in front of justice. Their justice. Not your justice. Their justice. If their justice says this shall never be a socialist Marxist country. Ever. Anybody trying to create it is a traitor. If they formulate a group with guns, they are insurrectionists. And they'll be put down. This their law. This their shit on the Constitution. This their shit. We ain't have nothing to do with it. But once we became part of it, it was better than what the fuck the Marxist socialists in Africa was talking about. And we ran with it. Now guess whose shit it is? Now it's our shit. It's not just their shit. Now it's our shit, their shit, everybody's shit that want to be down with it. If you don't want to be down with it, the only option you got is socialism, Marxism, and that's the weakest option to take. So, one way or another, this video is going to get in the hands of you or one of your members. And based on what I've seen on the camera, you had one or two real military type. You had a hell of a lot of degenerates. You had a couple of niggas who, on their day job, they took a day off to come over here, but you sure didn't have gangbangers up in that shit. Gangbangers don't fuck with that. They don't even want to be a part of no shit like that. They don't move that way. Gangbangers are guerrilla warfare. They have no strategy. They don't do formations. They don't do training. A live experience. In the gang, you get a gun, motherfucker tell you, nigga, we on our way. Figure out how that motherfucker shoot. And you gonna learn how to become an expert Marxist on the battlefield. And you can't tell me they don't know what the fuck they're doing, because they kill more motherfuckers than any group in the black community. Any group. Them niggas in Chirac is hitting targets all the time. They pull up, nigga, popping niggas, and niggas is falling around that motherfucker. I don't know where they go to shooting practice, but they damn sure hitting targets. It must not be that hard to shoot a gun. Y'all like to make it seem like you need to be training up. For what? For what? If I'm going to train up, I'm going to go to the army. Like I'm in the hood. at the shooting range with a bunch of niggas who ain't got to go to work in the morning. Hey, you coming to shoot range? No, man, you know, I work at Home Depot, nigga. Be there at 7 in the morning. Oh, nigga, you ain't ready for no war, nigga. You work at Home Depot. You trying to save up your 401k to get you an 8K. Fuck out of here, man. Y'all better get your mind right. You better stop listening to these conscious, because you don't know the Bible either. And the Kemetic shit ain't got shit to do with the Bible. And you don't know the Bible, what the fuck you're talking about. I'd be happy to put you in line with some real information. But you're a narcissist. You too deep. You can't be convinced of a motherfucking thing. You are now a psyop. You gotta live this out and hope for the best. And all them little motherfuckers with you, all them feds is coming into your Instagram with your logo on. He tell everybody, take off your logo. Let me go get some of this audio so y'all can hear how he just flipping out. He don't know what the fuck to do. Shit just changed on him after the 4th of July. He don't know what the fuck is going on.
You just can live any way you want. Just remember.
Hold on, let me load this
up. The Bahamas. I was in the Bahamas, and I went to Nassau. Love the place, love the people. All down in Beantown, had a ball. But one of the things that I noticed when
get to it,
to live, here it comes, to live in neighborly harmony. Notice they said neighborly harmony, not dominating a race harmony.
I don't know where the cue is, but somewhere in this.
Get it right. There are 45 million of us in the United States. All I'm trying to get is 1 million. Did you hear what I just said? There's 45 million of us. All I'm trying to get is 1 million. You see, in 1925, 52,000 Klan members marched down the avenue in D.C. 52,000. Like, where did they all go? That's another discussion for another time. But all I'm looking for is 1 million. Now, if I can get 1 million armed, law-abiding, legally carrying Black people in one place, I don't ever again want to hear y'all say y'all afraid of nothing, because your army is right there. But we'll deal with that at another time. Remember, if you see someone with a look.
First of all, I want you to understand something. You want to get 1 million Black people in one location with guns. And that's your army? Just y'all got a rifle? Nigga, the Taliban is in the mountains, buried. You forget that an army, 1 million motherfuckers need to eat. Nigga, they'll starve you out. They'll be like, don't send no food to Stone Mountain where them niggas is at. They will barricade all entranceways into the goddamn Stone Mountain and starve you niggas out. You be up there with a rifle and a big ass box of shells, starving. An army needs to be prepared to fight for years upon years. We was in Afghanistan 20 years. Where the fuck is you niggas going? What is you going to do for 20 years? You don't have enough bullets to last an hour in a war. All you niggas will be click, 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 click. You didn't bring the bullets? No, nigga, I'm out. You are living in a psyop, man. Psyop. It's sad. It's sad, boy. Your conscious community extreme.
Goes up. We logos down right now. And in case y'all hadn't heard, I'm gonna make the announcement again. We are creating BlackTube. Yes, BlackTube is the Black equivalent of YouTube, a place where we can go and do our thing and do us and not have nobody censoring us, nobody putting us in jail, nobody doing nothing. With Stack.
Sonetta ran this same shit. Y'all always talking about what you create. Why don't you just give me the link to some shit that already exists? And don't talk about it till you be about it. You can't just create a page. QAnon had a page. They took that shit down. They'll knock you black tube. They just bloop, delete you off the internet. You know, what the fuck happened to black tube? Oh, it went black. It went black. These motherfuckers control the internet. Everything on it. Do you even understand what you're doing? I'm just here for one of your members. Fuck the rest of them. One of you motherfuckers don't understand where the fuck you at. You don't understand. You are following the Black Jim Jones around this motherfucker. He gonna get your ass in the forest with your guns and tell you can't leave now, motherfucker. And you gonna, what the fuck did I just get into? I thought we was just practicing how to shoot straight. Nah, nigga. This is Marxism, socialism. Welcome to communist America. It's not gonna work. We're not fucking with that shit. Why you think that Donald Trump is so motherfucking popular? Because he's pushing the Constitution. We tired of Barack Obama and that bullshit. We sat there wishing and hoping he was gonna be the one. That motherfucker wasn't nothing. And motherfuckers was so pissed off at his ass, they gave us Donald Trump as a motherfucking joke. But Donald Trump wasn't a goddamn joke. We thought he was. Like, what is this orange motherfucker gonna do? And then it came in. Punching. Jabs to the neck. Knockout blows. He was knocking shit out of the park. Left and right. Now that we've seen that, we ain't turning back. All you socialist, conscious, woke, sleep niggas is done with. This shit done with. You sound old. Y'all sound tired. Y'all keep transferring this comedic shit. The comedic shit went from comedic to aboriginal to flat earthers to alien babies. You motherfuckers been metamorphosing on me. Now you niggas have showed up again as black militants. It's the same old shit. It's the same shit. It's a shame. Soon as your crew see what they doing to you, they out of here. They out of here. They not that committed as you think. It was fun marching through Stone Mountain. It was cool. And then they see that shit go viral. And you don't want Donald Trump to mention you. You gonna feel good. Yeah, Donald Trump mentioned me. But your members are the way the fucking minute. Wait a fucking minute. And you surely don't want Barr, the DOJ, to mention you. That's what you don't want. That's what you don't want, because his job is, if he mention you, you've been on the target. You've been on the radar. And you don't want him to mention your group. So this is why you're telling us we're doing it legal. You're trying to set up your defense already. You're trying to explain your defense. Khalid Muhammad did this better than you. And one thing Khalid Muhammad didn't do, show up with the guns. But he had them. A whole lot of them. More than y'all. Deeper than y'all shit. I don't know how big he is. But you ain't been around but that long as you think. Khalid was around when you was a DJ. And he had them. But he knew how the media would play shit. So he said, if we got to show up with them guns, it ain't going to be to do no marching. We fucking shit up. We going to only have that moment. Now you want all your members to drop their logos so that you can see who going to show you their face. Man, they got motherfuckers that'll show you their face. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck if you see who they are. They gonna be like, yeah, let me take one. Let me show this nigga. You want to see our face? Let me show that nigga your face. All right, let me show this motherfucker my face. Do I got to go through the history? Do I got to talk about the Asian who armed the Black Panthers was a Fed? They didn't know it. This nigga came in barking at socialism, communism, Mao shit. And they was, yep, black power. He was yelling that shit too. Black power. Black power. This motherfucker was with it. Agent like a motherfucker. Everybody seen his face. Your tactics are so motherfucking basic. I'm telling you, bro, you should just go on vacation. Go far too. You might want to visit China. You might want to visit China. And when you get there, I want you to go find the roughest, toughest communists you can find. So you can see what your future look like. And I want you to watch them motherfuckers kill innocent motherfuckers who don't like that shit. So you can understand what you over there talking about. You've already put on record that there's certain black people that just got to get killed with the white folks. You pulled the Umar Johnson. You don't even know it. You pulled the Umar Johnson and don't even know it. You're done for. You convicted yourself and now you're trying to put up your own defense and the case ain't even started. What you think, they're going to play back your tape? Well, on this video, he said, we don't give a fuck what he said. We only talk about what he did. Let's talk about what you said. You can't put no defense on this motherfucker. Do you know they put Bill Cosby in jail? He had $1 billion. He couldn't even make bail. That's unheard of. A billionaire can't get bail. They arrested Epstein. He was working for them. They served that nigga up, killed that nigga in the cell. Are you watching? Is this thing on? Can you see what the fuck is going on out here? You're not ready for the levels of this shit. You're not ready to go viral. You feeling good because a few ragtag niggas showed up to Stone Mountain. That made you feel good. All right, people, put your mask on and march. You out of your mind, man. You out of your mind.
In place. Not another place to be free for all. So you can leave all that madness over here. But I'm going to leave here and I'm going to be going to BlackTube. And I'm pretty sure if you still want your facts over feelings, if you want your morning mental, you will follow me. But a lot of y'all won't, because you will never hear for the real reason. It'll just be, okay, he gone, I'll move on to somebody else. Then I wish you well. I told y'all this last night. I always wondered, where did the 144,000 come from? Why was the number so low? I never could understand that. As a matter of fact, I used to, hold on a second. Let me see this, man. All right, that'll work. I used to always wonder when you talk about the 144,000, how come the number was so low when there are millions of us? Then when I went down to visit the Georgia Guidestones, I then was like, why is the population only 500 million? What are they going to do with the rest of the people?
Wait the fuck a minute. Wait the fuck. Hold the fuck up. I didn't hear this part. Wait a minute. Hold on. Did you just kick the 144 millions in Revelation? Did you superimpose that on the Georgia Guidestones? Put up by these, and that's why you think it's only 144 million? Because they were successful. They got the population down to 500,000. Is that what you did? Boy, is that what you did? I swear, you need to get the fuck off the mic. You are ruining yourself. It ain't that serious, bruh. It ain't that serious. Trust me. If you got an AK and you riding down to the QT to get some gas, and a couple of hillbilly white boys pull up with their little rebel flags, talking that shit, get out, light they motherfucking ass up. That's it. And keep pushing. If that's how you feel, if you think that that's your enemy, get out, light they motherfucking ass up for playing with you. But all this other shit, now I'm gonna do the 144,000. Let me let you finish that thought.
Never understood that until I started watching you all. And I began to realize the same thing I said about the quarantine. A lot of you are going to die because of your own stupidity. You're not going to die because of anything that we did to you. we're going to die because of your own stupidity. We're in the middle of what they call the pandemic, right? How many times did I tell you that in 1918, when they had the pandemic?
This is not a motherfucking pandemic, first of all. This is a democratic George Soros, socialist, Marxist fucking propaganda war. It ain't no fucking pandemic. It's bullshit. I'll be the one to say it. I lay it out flat. It's a fucking lie. All you motherfucking zombies walking around with a mask on, thinking that the COVID gonna get you. You just a dumbass motherfucker caught up in the psyop. Whatever the fuck is out there, that little bitty Chinese cloth around your motherfucking mouth ain't gonna save you from it. You niggas is lost. You lost. And you can't win. It's not a fucking pandemic. Yes, the COVID is real. The cold is real. The flu is real. AIDS is real. Ebola is real. And a fucking piece of cloth around your mouth can't save you from none of that shit. Just as many motherfuckers as last year, this year is going to get the common cold. I don't give a fuck if you put a steel belt around your motherfucking mouth. You're going to get the cold, motherfucker. Same motherfuckers who catch the flu are going to get the flu. You're not going to stop nothing. All this shit you see, these fake ass numbers, that's the psyop. This is about one thing. The Democrats are losing power. What the fuck can we do? Come up with anything. How about a pandemic? Yeah, let's push a pandemic. You should be on here already understanding that this is a psyop. This is not real. This is manufactured in a movie studio. This already went down in 1984, the movie. This ain't no new shit. They've been known, but they already know. George Soros is planning the next move now that you think is going to be real. Because the pandemic didn't work. They couldn't collapse the economy. They couldn't break the stock market. You couldn't put Donald Trump in jail. No, what happened in return? Epstein got arrested. Now they got his girlfriend. Now they got the list. Now they about to show the videotapes. Now you about to hear the audio recordings. The motherfucking China about to get smacked up. And you can't stop it. George Soros is panicking. You can't stop it. A pandemic. These motherfuckers put you in the house, told you you couldn't do shit, and you believed them. You obeyed them. Obey, motherfucker. Obey. That was in the movie 1984. Obey. Everybody living in 1984, the movie, thought that it was a perpetual war. It wasn't real. It was propaganda. You guys are the prouds. You are the worthless motherfuckers who believe what the news tell you. And they control the news. You really believe that Don Lemon has real information? Really? He can't get fired no matter what the fuck he do? What the fuck he say? I can't even talk about gays on Facebook. Don Lemon come on this motherfucker talking crazy every day. This is why I'm the real, you're the lost. 1980, this is 144,000 and the Georgia Stones. Boy, stop.
That a lot of people, well, they didn't take it seriously. So what ended up happening was they ended up having to have a second wave and a third wave, and everybody got sick all over again, and it was worse than it was before. And now they're trying to tell y'all that that's what's happening again. Matter of fact, they've canceled Black Friday. Ain't that something? Yeah. But when we started talking about the 144,000, well, someone asked me about that. They said, well, it's 144,000, Jay. How do we get there? Okay. Well, I hate to shatter this for some people. This is really going to hurt you. But somewhere around the 33rd year after they crucified Yeshua, it was a group that came up, and they were about 144,000. This was from the Pentecost. they believe that they're going to be resurrected in heaven as immortal beings, and they're going to spend eternity with God in Christ. And they believe that these people are anointed. That's who the 144,000 is supposed to be. Somehow that has somehow translated over that the 144,000 is just symbolic. That there's no such thing that if you're good enough that you might end up in the 144,000. Is it symbolic or is it literal? Who's included in it? So there's two ways. There's what we call, and my tribe folks need to listen up. You have what's called the 144,000 that are the sealed Jews. And you can believe that number in scripture is a definite count, and we still have the hope of attaining heaven. But the futuristic count refers to the theory that 144,000 are sealed Jews protected from the wrath of the Antichrist. I'm about to blow somebody's mind, and then I'm gonna leave, and a lot of y'all gonna be mad, and you're gonna run and you're gonna jump in your preacher's face, and a lot of y'all gonna go read the Bible and the Biblios, the Holy Biblios, after I say this. But I told you once before, don't come in here unless you're ready to be brainwashed, scrubbed out of the slave master's religion. This is, again, a major brick I'm about to take out of your theology.
What's that?
You understand that the wrath of the Antichrist, they call him the Antichrist. Well, let me explain something to you. To be Antichrist is exactly what you're supposed to be if you're a child of Yah, because Christ is not mentioned by Yah. Yeshua is mentioned by Yah. Christ came from the Roman Catholics. So who?
Boy, stop. Boy, stop. It would be better if you taught motherfuckers how to look down the sight of an AK. Don't tell nobody about nobody. Shut the fuck up. You sound ridiculous. The Roman Catholics. Motherfucker, have you heard of the Orthodox Coptics? Have you? 300 years of orthodoxy in Kemet before you ever even uttered a Roman Catholic? Have you ever read the Ecclesiastics of Eusebius? You should stop. If anybody's in this motherfucking group taking that pit boss is on here banging on your just fucking around coalition, I'm gonna tell you right now. Give me a car. Drive the fuck home and mind your motherfucking business. You don't want to be a part of this shit. This is for dumb niggas only. Dumb niggas. If you a dumb nigga, you need to hurry your ass down to the Not Fucking Around Coalition and sign the fuck up so we can get rid of all these dumb niggas at one time. This is the dumbest shit I've heard come out the country. Sinetta, we got you. I finally found a motherfucker that got you beat. This nigga got you beat.
Whoever comes to abolish the lie, whoever comes to remove Christ from that spot and put Yeshua in his rightful spot is the Antichrist. So the Antichrist is only going to be an enemy to those who have perverted the word of Yahweh, which means that any of us that come along that tell you you should not be believing in Jesus Christ, that is not what was written. It says Yeshua and the elect and the chosen one. For that matter, I'm the Antichrist.
Boy, you just said some motherfucking truth. The problem is, the Bible was fulfilled, nigga. Only you futurist, crazy motherfuckers find a way to simulate the Bible to your reality. The Georgia Stones is in the Bible. I'm tired of this fucking show. I need a fucking break. This type of shit wears me the fuck out. Holla.